Hi everybody, this is the website boy from the websiteboy.com, and today we're going to be making some calculations with variables on C. Now, I hope that you appreciate that I'm going a little slower for some of you out there that I'm not going to make everybody happy. I know that because some people might want me to go slower, some people might want me to go faster. So I'm trying to be in the middle there so that way everybody's happy. But anyway, so we're gonna build from the last tutorial, from the last video that we had this code right here. So we're gonna use that, and you know, if I didn't actually specify it on the last tutorial, when you declare a variable, you can declare like this. You can declare an empty variable and then later on use the name of the variable and assign it a value like this, and then you don't have to actually write this again. Right? But what we did on the last tutorial is that we assigned it, we declare a variable, and then right away assigned it a value. So we did two things at the same time. Sometimes you might see variables declare like this with no value, and then later on you can use the name without the int type, right? And assign it a value. So I just went a little bit ahead of myself and I did two things: declared and assigned a value to it. Right? Just wanted to be clear on that. So we're gonna declare another integer, and if we use a float, we can use a float right here and declare a float number. That's not a problem. We just have to make sure that we declare the type also, right? So we can go ahead and write this and make sure, and then put a value like 2.4 or something there, right? We can do that. Just to be clear on that, there is no there's no barrier on that. We can mix numbers. So let's go ahead and do a calculation. Um, let's create another variable, right? And what I'm gonna do with this variable, I'm gonna introduce you to a type that I did introduce you in the last tutorial, I believe, called double. And what this type does is that you can use a integer or a float number in this type. All right, so we're gonna make a calculation double because when we make a calculation with a floating number and an integer, it could be, most of the time it's gonna be a decimal. It's gonna be a floating number, right? So, or it could be an integer, right? But most of the time it's gonna have a decimal place. But we don't know, right? 100% sure. I'm not a mathematician, but I know a little bit of math, not much. So double, and we're gonna go ahead and not assign anything to it. We're just gonna say that it's double, so that way we can use the calculation. We can assign it right away. Let's just go ahead and assign a calculation right away to it, and let's say number times, and this is how you multiply in programming. Mostly in every programming language. I haven't seen one that doesn't use that, but I only code in Java, C, C++, C Sharp. So, anyways, um, so we multiply here. We can make a division with this forward slash. That's what I call it. And we can subtract or we can add numbers there. So right now we are going to multiply with asterisk, and we're gonna multiply this float number. And if you want, you can just copy it from here so that way you don't make mistakes. Let's just copy it and then end it with a semicolon. Always make sure they match exactly this variable here. If you get an error, it will not compile, it will not run. So now that we have that, let's change this let's change this for a to calculation. Actually, you know what, let's make this a integer. Change my mind. Let's make this an integer. I don't want to mess around with anything else. I just want to make it simple for you. I don't want to confuse you. Later on, we might get into mixing numbers and doing other kinds of things, but right now, let's just leave it like this. I might confuse you there with results. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Anyways, so now I have an integer. I have a variable declared as an integer here, and I already assigned it 10. to it, and I have the same variable, an integer variable here, assigned it a 40, and I have an integer variable assigned it a calculation number, which is 10 multiplied by flow number. And then here we are actually displaying the results, which is a calculation, and we are going to save it and build and run it. As you can see here, we got the hello 400. All right, so 10 times 40 is 400. We can also use do division. We can save it, and as you can see here, it went to 0. All right, let's see. Jesus, I don't like the screens here. All right, let's do subtraction and then save it and build and run it. And then we got negative 30. All right, this is a D right there. So anyway, you can do some math like this with, we might touch on this subject later on. We might not. I think this should be enough math to get you, kind of give you the basics on how you can use variables and do some calculations. We might touch on this later on. We might touch on this on the C++ advanced tutorial, which is the advanced tutorial for the C language. Is it would be concentrating in object orientation. So that would be an advanced program, an advanced tutorial for C. So if you want that, you can make a comment and let me know, and I'll rush more that tutorial for you guys. But anyways, I hope this was able to kind of give you an idea how we do some calculations with variables in the C programming language. And I want to thank you for your support. And if you like this video, please favorite, please like it. And again, I'll see you on the next tutorial. The Website Boy out.